Yeah, but sometimes there's a perfect one and she's like, oh, here's my first one. I can go right into that. So I was just asking.
Don't even ask,
I'm
Zoe.
just fucking asking.
No,
okay?
don't ask. Or I'll burn this
I'm leaving
podcast to the
I'm leaving
ground.
our team. I'm now going to be a quarter by myself over here.
Welcome to Sisters Not Saints, the podcast where we offer real life advice from the sisters you've always wanted.
Featuring two real life sisters, Kristen and Megan, and two real life sisters-in-law, Hillary and Zoe.
Sisters, not saints. You might think they're saints, but they. Some of them are sisters, two of them have misters, but there's one thing that's for certain, it's their sisters, not saints.
Hey guys, I'm Megan.
I'm Hillary.
I'm Kristen.
I'm Zoe. Okay, before we get started, I have a little info from last week that I need to update you on.
Lay it on us.
It's the towel situation, and we all should be washing our towels every day, and I hate to say it.
I don't want to.
Okay, so here's the research.
Wait, our bath towels?
All of them.
All right, hit
Everything.
us with the research.
No.
Everything. Okay, they did a study. 90% of towels in the bathroom had coliform on it, which is poop. 14% had E. coli. That is
Yucky.
from washing your hands with soap and hot water and drying them. There is still stuff on your hands, and that is staying wet in the towel and growing.
Okay, I feel like people that are doing this are not washing their hands correctly.
No, this is with people washing their hands
Are
correctly.
we sure? Like two happy birthday songs,
Yes.
and there's still E. coli? Then why bother?
Well, no one's doing two happy birthday songs.
That's what I'm saying.
No, but isn't it just one happy birthday?
I do too.
Just
40
regardless, it's your hands. They put bacteria on these people's hands, and then they had them wash it with soap and water, and it was still getting on the towel. And because the bathroom and the towel are moist, that was growing still.
But does it matter? Like, we're not
Does it matter?
poisoned
But
from E.
does-
coli. I'm fine.
but
And there's germs everywhere.
Because if you then if you dry your face with that towel later, you can get that E. coli, and then you get sick. So yes,
But I've been
No.
doing that my whole life, and I'm fine.
maybe that's when you get diarrhea. It's because of that towel.
And there's not really any way to avoid all germs. I feel like we're going to
No.
have germs. And E. coli, we're touching it every day. It's on elevator buttons. It's everywhere. If the goal is to avoid E. coli, I feel like we'll be washing everything
Okay,
every
if you have
day.
any like germ experts, I would love to find someone that could come in and like blue light. I
No,
have
you
a blue
wouldn't.
light.
No,
I have a
you
blue
would
light.
die. You would
I
never be
wanna
able to
blue
live.
light all of our hands because I bet by far my hands are cleaner than y'all's.
I believe it. My hands are filthy.
As you're holding a cat who's walked in a litter box,
Well, I'm not holding him. He
he was
holding
just
me.
licking you.
Not by choice. I'm gonna whip out my blue light later on y'all.
So they found that if you don't want to be wasteful and wash your towel every day, at least do it every 3 days, because people who were washing their towels, or on the third day, 80% of the towels had fecal material on them.
What if you live in a house where you have a separate water closet?
Okay, so that's important. So here's some things you can do to minimize this. Washing your towels in hot water with bleach and drying on hot. Like even letting them sit in the washer too long, like that can grow bacteria, and then you're just drying them. Like, so you're kind of not even stopping the problem there. Don't leave your towel hanging on a hook because it's not drying properly. Over the shower is better, like spread out. Like you want your towel to completely
That's
dry
what I
off.
do.
And even not in the bathroom where there's not as much wind and stuff. Don't share your towels. You can get ringworm, staph infections, and fecal matter from other people. And that's not a good combo.
That's a very bad combo.
Yeah.
But you know, it's funny. I just read a report that came out today, actually, from some energy committee that said one of the best things you can do for the environment is actually washing your laundry in cold water. That this myth of hot water is just that. It's a myth. It actually does
I've read that
nothing.
too.
Well, that's for clothing. You
But
don't
I
need that
wonder-
for clothing. And
Yeah.
that actually is worse for the clothing. It breaks down the fibers.
Well, no, I know, but they're actually saying today that like everyone is saying don't do it at all for anything. That
Yeah.
it doesn't do anything at all to help with germs.
This is
It's
like a
myth.
couple of years ago when they said you don't need to use antibacterial soap, that any soap is okay.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just
I don't
one of
think
those
you need
energy
antibacterial
things.
soap. It's bad for you. It's taking away the good germs.
You're telling us to wash our towels in bleach.
If you want to kill the fecal matter, yeah.
Well, I want to kill the fecal matter on my hands.
Just
Before.
use soap.
I'm
and
just fine, I
scrub.
think, with fecal matter.
I think we just live with it no
It
matter
just,
what.
everything, I feel like I'm so overwhelmed with like how to be healthy, like just with like eating and drinking enough water and exercising and cleaning your house and your children and working. And
And you just draw the
now
line
I
at
have-
poop on the hand.
Well, yeah,
It's like,
now I
especially
have
when
to
you have
wash
kids in the
towels
house.
every day. I literally do a load of laundry every single day. 7 days a week, often 2 loads a day. I cannot add more laundry to my list. I'll live with the fecal matter.
There was a day last week that I had 7 loads of laundry because I hadn't done it. I have construction happening at my house, so I hadn't had any laundry done. I did it all in one day, and it was 7 loads, and I had to fold it all. It was sheets, it was towels, and I thought, this is hell. There's no way I could wash these towels every single day. So same. I guess if you want clean, don't come to the parents of the group.
My towels are fecal matter.
We're taking shortcuts. Hi.
It's me. I'm the problem. It's me.
Okay, speaking of Taylor Swift, again, this is the last time, though, this season, I promise. I just read that she is on track to become the world's first billionaire, male or female, through music alone. So, like, Rihanna is a billionaire, but she didn't do it through music. She did it through her skincare and, like, all of her. Taylor Swift has never done any kind of, like, endorsement deals, really, or clothing lines.
Well, she does do perfume, and everyone says perfume makes a ton of money.
She makes perfume.
Yeah.
I didn't
She
know
used
about
to
her
at least.
perfume.
Mm-hmm.
They're saying through music alone, she would be the first billionaire. So she's set to make $600 million on this next tour. And the question that was raised by some of the fans, because billionaires are not liked by the majority of people, so they're saying, could Taylor Swift be the world's first ethical billionaire?
No.
Because most billionaires make their money by, people that believe this kind of stuff or make this argument, exploiting workers. They just make their money in very unethical ways. So the question
I say no.
is,
She's not ethical.
is it
She's not
possible?
ethical. Nobody.
Is it possible to be an ethical billionaire?
Nope. It's not.
No, and I love Taylor Swift, but no, her jet. There's lots of things that are not ethical, that she's not giving away most of her money.
But are we saying just she's not ethical? Like her owning a jet doesn't really have anything to do with her earning the money to be a billionaire? Because you're just saying she earned it ethically.
Well, I'm saying she earned it ethically, but I guess is it possible conceptually to be a billionaire and it be ethical?
No, I think everyone
No.
should be like Dolly Parton. And if you're able to be a billionaire, you shouldn't be because you've been giving so much of it away.
And that's what her
Right.
fans are saying. They're saying that would kind of make us hesitate because we love her. But if you're a billionaire and you're just sitting and hoarding your wealth and you're not giving it back to the community, then we do sort of have a question about no matter how you earned it. Like, it's great that you earned $1 billion on your music. That's impressive. But,
But what are you doing with it?
Yeah.
How are you making the
look
world
at Dolly
a better
Parton.
place?
I know she would be a billionaire, but she gives so much money away.
And Taylor Swift does do a lot of donations.
She does. Right. And so maybe she would, start giving away more. But
I find billionaires don't like to do that.
it also is a very different way that she's made her $1 billion than like Jeff Bezos.
Mm-hmm.
He's definitely not an ethical billionaire.
Kylie Jenner.
Yeah. Elon Musk.
But nobody makes money in an ethical
That's
way.
the whole.
But I mean,
Right.
Taylor Swift, it's pretty ethical, right? She's
Yeah, I
writing her own music, creating her own albums, singing her own songs.
Yeah. I mean, the criticism that a lot of billionaires get is that they thrive off the abuse of their workers. They separate workers from the means of production. They're undercutting people. They're taking advantage of workers and then hoarding all of the wealth. So they make a ton of money and just sit on it. It doesn't even go back out into the environment.
But I'm sure Taylor Swift is underpaying people.
that's the
Yeah,
question.
that's what we're all agreeing with, is that
Yeah.
there's no ethical billionaires.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Except for Dolly, possibly, but she's not a billionaire.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
in our hearts, she is.
Definitely.
She would be.
She's got the heart of a
She's too
billionaire.
ethical.
Or she
Here's
has
the
a-
other thing people say is that the whole concept of like the capitalism that supports billionaires, it thrives on promoting overconsumption. It ruins the environment. It ruins
And Taylor
The Earth.
sells a lot of stupid merch.
That's
that you
right.
have to buy 4 of the same albums to make a clock. It's so stupid.
Right. And you have to do that in order to be able to buy a ticket to her concert.
Which
Right.
you have to waste 8 hours at work.
Ugh, 8
sitting
hours,
on
I
the
wish.
internet.
Yeah. You're right. Very unethical.
I wasted like 4 days.
Sorry, T-Swizzle.
The other question about her in particular is, are her tickets being sold to fans at a reasonable price?
No.
Question
Of course
mark?
not. No.
No.
I don't. Is that her fault though? And does she have any say in
Yes.
that? That's most
because-
artists.
But no, but there are a ton of artists that do now take a stand and they're like, all of the tickets in my venue are going to be $40, whether you're in the front seat or you're in the back row. Like, no, nobody needs to be paying Taylor Swift $650 for a seat. That's insane.
Here's an argument that says all billionaires have relied on social and economic structures that are based on colonization, displacement, exploitation of workers, destruction of nature, and cooking the planet. And even though they're not all as culpable, some are more culpable, but they all have some responsibility for that. And I guess that's the argument. Like, could she be exempt from that definition? And I don't think so.
No.
No. She should be taking her billions to help the environment.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not taking her private jet everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You
That's
suck,
not always
Taylor
her
Swift.
on her private jet.
But
Okay.
that's even worse.
I know, but
Yeah.
that's
That's
what
not-
she said whenever
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
article came out. She's like, it's not always me flying, but like,
I loan it to my friends.
You have a private jet.
Right.
Everybody could be flying commercial.
exactly.
I have kind of a related question that someone asked me at work recently.
Oh, lay it on us.
Do you have a celebrity that you think is kind of your soulmate, or that you always thought you would be married to?
Oh,
That you always thought you would be with?
No, I
Like
never.
actually, like literally thought you'd be
Kind
with them?
of, yeah. That you kind of have such a connection with this
No.
person? Because
Well-
I did.
Who?
Kind of.
Okay, it was Zachary Levi.
Wait.
Okay.
I had no idea
Let
who
me
he
Google him.
was, and I worked with him.
Recently?
So maybe it was that I met a person and I instantly thought they were my soulmate. So maybe it's a little different, but he was a celebrity.
Somebody show me his picture. My
Wait,
phone's
why
dead.
is his last name Pugh now? Is Zachary Levi Pugh? Did he marry Florence Pugh?
Who is he?
How dare he?
I don't know. Hold on. Maybe that's just his last
He
name.
doesn't look
Do you
familiar
know
to
who
me.
he is?
No.
Now he's in Mrs. Maisel. He's the handsome, tall guy who goes on the boat at the camp with her.
His full name has always been this, Kristen. He just
His stage name is
yeah,
He's like
Zachary
the
Levi.
doctor,
It's his
Hillary, and
middle
Mrs.
name.
Maisel.
Right. But I don't remember him from anything else.
he's from Lake Charles, Louisiana.
Oh, wow. Looky there.
Anyway, so,
So
that
why
was
is he
mine.
not? He could still be your soulmate.
He was married at the time I met him.
Oh, well, maybe
Well-
he's not now.
If it makes you feel better, he is divorced.
He has a girlfriend. I checked.
Oh,
Mm.
well.
So is he local? I don't. How are you gonna get hooked up with him?
I mean, I worked with him.
What are the things about him that you were so drawn to?
No,
It was just like you knew this
yeah,
was your guy.
I just knew. We just talked outside for like an hour, and I knew.
Oh, you actually met him. and
okay.
then
So
had
this
that
wasn't like
feeling.
a celebrity crush.
No, but this could just be a celebrity crush or somebody you've watched.
Your soul's just connected. Like,
Yeah, or like the your first celebrity crush when you were a teen. Like,
Devin Sawa. I was really in love with Devin Sawa.
is that JoJo Siwa's brother?
No, spelled
not
totally
Siwa.
different.
So Casper and
Oh,
he got
yeah.
now and
confused
then.
for Macaulay Culkin sometimes.
Yes, now and then.
Mhm.
See?
Yeah,
Okay.
I was really in love with him. And you
Yeah.
know what? I did think. Never mind.
No,
No, you have to go there
You
now.
thought y'all were gonna get married, didn't
You
you?
No,
thought
no.
Peter looked like him, and that's why you picked him.
No, but something like that. 'Cause you know how there was this trend going around on Instagram a while back being like my celebrity crush as a
Oh,
kid and then
yeah.
the person
Oh,
I
yeah.
married. That is what I thought. I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, I would do that. But then I was like, no, I'm not going to do that.
That's funny. Mine, when I was really little, was Macaulay Culkin. I was obsessed with him
And your husband loves Home Alone.
and looked like him as a kid.
Yes.
And now Henrik kind of looks like him. So every year when we watch that
See?
movie, I take a childhood picture of like Henrik in front of Macaulay Culkin, and I'm like, wow, that's so weird because I hadn't thought about it since I was in
So-
third grade.
I guess I just need to be on the lookout for a Zachary Levi lookalike.
That's right.
Look-alike. I also thought for sure I'd marry Prince William. I had a dream about it in 7th grade, and my last name in the dream changed to Windsor. And, like, we had a whole ceremony and everything, and so I felt really connected to him. And then his mom died that same year, so I was like, "That's it. This is my sign." Like, I had that dream. My last name was Windsor, like him. Obviously, we're getting married.
Okay, so on the topic of celebrity marriages and ethical billionaires, has everybody heard about Nepo babies?
Yes. I've been hearing about them a lot.
Hate it. Annoyed.
What do you mean? What are you annoyed with? That they exist?
No, that it's a topic that people are annoyed by nepotism when there's nepotism in every industry. Everyone.
Should we define what Nepo babies are
Sure.
first? Okay. If you're not familiar, if you're not on TikTok or the internet, everyone online is talking about Nepo babies. Nepo, of course, being short for nepotism. It's really relevant and prevalent in the celebrity communities because so many people that are actors or musicians or have any kind of fame, of course, give their kids an entryway into that world, and they take it. And they are now getting criticism because they're saying, you're not as talented as someone that's going to, Juilliard or whatever. You just have the connections. And so a lot of them are embracing it, and they're wearing t-shirts that say Nepo baby. A lot of them are saying like, well, no, I have talent. Yes, I had the connections, but I have talent too. And so it's just creating a whole stir everywhere where people are saying like, should Nepo babies exist? And is it okay for Nepo babies for parents to give their kids these jobs?
I just disagree that it's even more prevalent in the entertainment industry.
Really?
Because it's Megan
I
is
agree.
a Nepo baby. Like she
Right.
got the job because her dad owns the company, and that's in every business. They hand it down to their children.
Are you a Nepo baby?
I got in the industry because my dad. So yes.
I think it is everywhere, but I do think it's more prevalent in entertainment.
Oh, I think
No.
no.
I think it's equal.
It's
because
not prevalent in the education industry.
Well,
they don't want their kids to make so little. That's the problem.
But also that's
They don't
not,
value it. That's the problem. They value like high paying.
Right.
Like, so they put their kids into these fancy schools where they'll get the connections to get these investment banking jobs because that's what they do. And they go to the right country clubs and
Yeah. But I'm saying it's not everywhere.
yeah.
No. The education field is
But
lots of
in
nepotism.
high paying jobs.
Right,
I
like-
think
Yeah.
it's all about who you know, and if it's your
Yeah.
family.
Yes,
They
that's
want to
true.
secure those
And you know
jobs
what?
for-
It's actually not even just in high paying jobs because I had a client call me the other day and they were like, hey, we want to hire this guy, but we want to hire him through your company because we don't want it to look like nepotism. And it's not a high paying job that he was hired for. So it happens everywhere.
Okay.
It's just less common in lower paying jobs.
Yeah.
Not that it doesn't
And
exist.
also,
but-
so our little sister who is in school to be a teacher, she has a leg up with someone that she knows through a connection with
of
our
our
dad who
parents.
says, when you get out of school, come to me and you'll have a job day one.
Exactly.
yeah, but your dad has money and has more connections.
That's the thing. It's people that
Yes.
have connections and have the ability. That's what nepotism does. Like it does open doors to this potential and opportunity that people wouldn't have if they didn't have access to privilege and money and connections and the right people. And so it's happening everywhere.
Yeah. I think it's okay because it's going to happen no matter what. And we all want what's best for our kids, but to an extent, because there are people they're like celebrities with kids, like Kate Hudson is a Nepo baby, but she's crazy talented. Like, I don't think she shouldn't be an actress because she got into it. But I think if she wasn't a good actress, then she shouldn't.
She wouldn't be in
the
movies.
jobs, right?
Yeah,
You know,
I
like,
don't think she would succeed. Just like that
Yeah.
girl that was in 50 Shades of Grey. People were like hating on her, but she made a name for herself and it is
Right.
successful.
Dakota
So-
Johnson, is that her
Yeah.
name? Yeah.
But there are some, I mean, there are definitely some celebrities that you're like, oh my God, they are not talented and they definitely just got this job. And they may not last as long.
Yeah, I don't
and they're
think
not
they'll
going to
have
be
longevity.
I
right.
can
They're not
name
going to be
one.
Academy Award winners or anything, but they still are where they are and got their jobs because of nepotism.
And
For
that's
sure.
fine. They
I can name one who got their job because of nepotism and is not talented.
Who?
Do you know, Kristen?
no, I don't know where you're going.
I'm sure there's tons.
There's
but
probably a
who?
million.
Who are you thinking of?
Riley Keough.
have
I don't
no
know what
idea
she's
who that
done.
is.
but I've worked with her.
Exactly. And
She's okay. I mean,
not talented.
but is anybody talented in their first couple movies? Like,
Yes.
And
of
I guess
course.
she'll bring a
Jennifer
following.
Lawrence?
Like she will bring people to the movie, and they care about making money.
Right. Yeah.
And here's an argument you could make: is you could make the argument that Nepo babies do have more experience and exposure because their parents are actors say. They grew up on set watching acting. They've seen their parents go through acting classes. They know the lifestyle.
You are getting that masterclass at home your entire life.
Right. You have all of this access. You've seen it. You know if you can do it. So, I mean, there is an argument to be made. And in fact, like that has happened in my personal life where I started out working for my dad and then I interviewed at other companies. And they always liked the fact that I grew up with these conversations at my dinner table my entire life. Like I watched this. I've had these conversations. I've seen every scenario play out, bad and good. And they always liked it. It was like a leg up because I had, you know, just like that exposure to it. So I think there could be an argument in some cases where for some people, like maybe they do pay attention well enough that it pays off for them.
Yeah. I think an important thing for Nepo babies is to just acknowledge the fact that it exists or that, you know, it's to me, it's most annoying if there's a celebrity or someone who's like, no, this isn't true. I'm not privileged. I didn't get any help at all. I started from scratch. Like just acknowledge the fact that you didn't hit a triple. You started on third base and then got to home. And that's fine. Like doesn't mean you're not talented, but just like you didn't start maybe where everyone else started.
Yep.
Somewhere in the dugout, somewhere on first, somewhere on second. You were on third. Like you were close to home and you got there.
And you got there through luck.
And also I admire your like dedication to working because if I didn't have to work, I don't know that I would. So I mean, the fact that you actually want to work, because if I had like rich celebrity parents, I would just be like, thank you.
But once
you know, the
had
more you
everything,
have,
like once you have the world and you have an unlimited budget, what else is there except maybe fame? I feel like they're chasing something they can't have, and that's the one thing they can chase.
yeah. Well, and it goes back to ethical billionaires because the more money you make, the more you want to make, which is why billionaires aren't giving away their money. They don't need it.
Exactly. It's all a game.
Okay. Here's a question someone asked us this week. I have a family dilemma. My dad and I have a rocky relationship, which became worse after he married the evil stepmother he cheated on my mom with. She didn't say that.
Scandalous.
She just said the woman. His health is declining since being diagnosed with a liver condition, which most likely will result in a cancer diagnosis.
No.
I have a trip planned to go visit him since his health is deteriorating quickly, but he is holding a grudge and won't talk to me until I talk to his wife. I don't do ultimatums so my first reaction was that there is no way in hell I am talking to her, regardless of his condition. But everyone that I have talked to has said to honor his dying wish. Any advice would be appreciated. Please don't be mean about it. This is a traumatic situation for me, and I am very emotionally fragile.
All right. Looky here, lady.
Sorry, there's a side note.
Uh-oh.
I'm Muslim
Oh.
and have been taught to practice compassion and to respect and honor my parents. I just don't feel that I am wrong here. Okay, so there's an evil stepmother who cheated. This daughter doesn't want anything to do with the woman. I think get over it.
Yeah. That's what I was going to say.
Oh.
Your dad's dying. Like, whatever.
Yeah.
This is the person he loves. Who cares?
All right, so I'll insert some personal drama into this question. Kristen and I come from a family with a lot of stepmoms.
2.
And it's when women come into the family, it's never easy, especially if this woman has now cheated on your father. However, at the end of the day,
No, didn't cheat on her father.
With him.
Separated
Oh,
her mother
gotcha.
and father.
what a
Had an
bitch.
affair.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a good person. Clearly not a
right.
good person because no good person would put herself in that situation.
But at the end of the
But
day,
her
it's your
father
dad.
also cheated.
Right.
I know. But at the same time, you are bound to your father.
Right.
Regardless of his mistakes. And you can work those out. You don't have to think that the wife's a good person. You can
Right.
say, like, in your head, not a good person, but I still have to have a
But your dad is dying.
civil relationship.
And look at the absolute bright side. When he dies, you don't have to deal with the stepmother anymore.
She's
She's just gone out of your
Right.
life.
Done.
Bye.
I do think, not in this situation, but not everyone's bound to their parents. If you have to cut your parents off for a
True,
good reason, but that's not what she's asking.
Yeah.
And it doesn't
And-
sound
yeah.
like they're there.
Right.
But that
Sounds
is a
like
good
she
point.
wants a relationship with her father. So
And
it might be your last time to see him. Get over it.
but I will give you that it does sound like your dad is being a jerk also if he's saying, "No, you have to get along with her before we can have a
Yeah, that
relationship."
sucks.
But also if it were me, I would just be like, "Okay, I'll be nice to this woman's face to see my dad." and then
Yeah, just
kill her
show
with
up.
kindness.
Yeah,
Honestly,
exactly.
that
I
will
thought you were
annoy
gonna
her
say kill
so
her,
much.
and I was like, wow, that's harsh.
If she's
Kristen.
someone that no, kill her with kindness. If she's someone that thrives off drama and
Right.
she's like getting off on the fact that she's controlling your dad, kill her with kindness. That's going to drive her crazy.
Yeah.
Show up with a smile, act like you're so happy to see her, you're so interested in what's going on. Visit with your dad and move
Grateful
on.
that she's taking care of your
Yeah.
dad, that you're just visiting.
Right. That will annoy her more than anything else.
And
So
then-
I say do that. Kill her with kindness. Visit your dad. You'll regret it if you don't. And
When you're done, call your best friend and vent about it.
Mm-hmm. And you can also judge, like we said, your dad's not right. He should always like want to have a relationship with you regardless.
but he's dying.
Sometimes men suck,
Right.
and women too.
All right. Question number 2. Looking for advice because, to be honest, I'm just tired.
Me too.
Me too.
I've been married to my husband for 21 years, but
Me
I feel like something
too.
has changed. 20 years?
No, we've been together 20 though.
He used to be the sweetest, always supportive, always loving, but now I just don't know. This all started back several years ago when I found him having an emotional affair with another woman. When I first found out, he denied it. But once I was able to show him without a shadow of a doubt that I knew, he admitted to it.
Receipts.
Since then, I forgave him and we moved on. Good, right? I digress. My husband works a lot. 2 jobs to be exact. So he's not home a lot. When he is home, he comes in and eats and sits on the couch and buries his face in his phone, doing Lord knows what. He doesn't talk to me or give me that much of his time. When it's finally time to go to bed, he immediately goes into sex mode. It's like he walks into the bedroom and he thinks it's time for sex. I hardly ever feel like it. I have tried explaining to him that I'm not getting what I need emotionally from him, and I'm always feeling like he isn't present when he's there. It makes me feel like an object and not a wife or a person with feelings. Usually he will get mad or just pout and will say that he needs the physical aspect to be able to offer the emotional. That because he's not getting what he needs to be able to give me what I need. So I sometimes will give in because I feel guilty. Things will get better for a week and then it's right back to the same old. He rarely helps me with anything at home. We have projects he started when we moved into this house that still sit unfinished, and he is now currently upset with me because I paid to have a couple of these projects completed. I mean, I ask him to do something and it sits. But if one of his friends or family members asks him to help with something, he runs to help right then. Am I in the wrong in feeling inadequate, unloved, and feeling like the only thing I'm good for is when he wants me physically? No, he sucks.
He does suck.
But you may suck too.
No, you don't suck. I will say that men's attention span is much shorter than females, and even I love you as a listener and I love you as a girlfriend and sister, but that was a lot of information. It was very lengthy, and I think if you're approaching it that way, like with that much information, he might just shut down.
Well, it's just a lot. It's a long laundry list of complaints, all valid.
Yes, all valid. You're right.
And you're venting to your sister, so that's acceptable.
I think the way you communicate with him may also need to change. You know, he's probably, not that he's right, but he's probably like, he can't even, their brain cells can't keep up with the speed
Listen,
at
we're
which
going to
ours-
level with you all. They're dumb, okay? They're just really
They are
dumb.
dumb. You have to,
You got to use short sentences, small words.
short
They're dumb.
and sweet, very direct commands.
And
Make
when
it
all else
clear.
fails, you just flash them.
Well, I think he would like that. It sounds like that's all he wants.
What?
Well, as far as the sex thing goes, I mean, every people know that women need an emotional connection and a little like build up before sex. It's different from men, and you might need to remind him of that.
Yeah, that is him trying to be close. It's not right that he doesn't understand. Like, it goes both ways.
They say that like women need mental and emotional outside of all of that to even want that step, and then men are the opposite. They need that to be emotional and mentally, like, you know.
But also it does sound like he could just be checked out. He could be done.
Yeah.
If you've caught him having an emotional affair, clearly he's being emotional with someone.
You know, it is true what they say in my experience. Like, if a guy wants to be with you, he will jump over rivers and mountains, and he will do what it takes to be with you. And if he's not putting in the effort, he really doesn't want to be with you.
Right.
That's harsh, but that is what I've seen.
Yeah.
Like, if a guy wants to be with you, he will make it work. He will do anything to be with you.
Right. And so it might just be time to sit down and have a hard conversation, because why waste your time if he's emotionally checked out?
And you've already tried.
right.
And if you've had that, then now just set one thing at a time. Like, okay, as far as our sex life goes, this is what I need to be with you in that way, to be intimate with you. I need this. We both have to give and take. And then as far as like, I feel like the not doing the task at home. That's like such a common
Yeah.
argument. And for me, I've had the conversation with my husband of like, this is my like constant ticker in my head of chores and tasks and things I have to do that you don't have. And so now I'm going to take this off and like I'm handing it to you and it's now your responsibility. And it's one thing. But then maybe a month add another thing. It's just kind of like, I even like a child like will write a list of like, I need these things done and like put it on the fridge. And it's not before I kind of felt like I don't want to have to be the person writing or doing this. But like now I've accepted that like that our minds work differently and he needs like a physical reminder and he does it and it's fine. Everybody's happy.
Like a slap?
Yeah. That's right.
Right,
But you know, you have to figure out what works for you and what's going to keep both people happy. And it might
Yeah.
not be what's like in your head of like, he's going to naturally get up and do these things without me asking. And, you know, you have to figure out like how it works for everybody and how everybody's mind works.
You shouldn't have to beg him, though. I think you deserve better. So if it's not here, I think you just have to accept that maybe he's moved on.
Yeah.
Just like we're about to.
Amen.
But good luck. We're thinking of you.
Third and final, looking for advice on support during a miscarriage. So I'm currently 18 weeks pregnant. My cousin, more like my sister/BFF, just found out today she is miscarrying at almost 10 weeks. I am so heartbroken for her. I want to love and support her during this time, but since I have not been through it myself, I'm not sure what to say, do. She goes in this week for her DNC.
I feel like we've all been in this situation, right? Have you guys all had someone that's been in this boat that you've been close to? I was pregnant at the same time as someone. We got pregnant at the same time with my third baby. And obviously mine was successful and she lost hers around the 9-week mark. And so it was really hard for me to know the right things to say. Like I meant well and I tried to be there, but I think it was hard for this person to see that I was still having a successful pregnancy and be around it, and she needed space to grieve and process, and I didn't always know how to say the right things. It's a really hard situation to be in. It's even hard now when I celebrate milestones with my baby, even though she has since had
Right, because you think she's comparing. And
I do. I always think she's thinking, oh, my baby would be turning, this age.
yeah.
It's just a really hard, I don't know. Like there's no perfect answer to this. And
There isn't, but I will say, as someone who has a friend who I've sat with in very, very sad situations, you never know the right thing to say, and that's okay.
yeah, just being
No
there.
one expects you to say the right thing. No one expects you to have all the answers. Sometimes just sitting with someone is good enough.
Yes, just acknowledging their pain and their loss, the same as any other
Yes.
loss. And knowing, I think it's much better than ignoring it or acting like it's not a loss.
And also, don't ask what you can do because they're going to say there's nothing. Just do something.
Yeah,
Bring a meal.
I was going
do
to say that
something.
exact thing. The only thing I could think of during that time is I sent a text one time with 4 options. And I said, I'm not going to say, let me know what you need. I'm going to say, here are the 4 things. You pick option A, B, C, or D. And she picked one and I showed up and left a meal on her doorstep and it was easy.
Thank you for all of your questions. Be sure to keep submitting them to sistersnotsaints.com. They are anonymous. Submit us your relationship questions, family questions, funny questions, work questions, whatever you want. We're here to listen and give our unsolicited advice.
Also, be sure to follow us on social media at Sisters Not Saints Podcast on Instagram and TikTok.
And we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.